Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Empower Her Movement Podcast. We are very excited to have you. I have my sweet, amazing friend, Leslye. I'm going to introduce her and we will get started. Leslye is a lieutenant colonel for psychological operations, and she's dual military mom of two. So this woman has been through a whirlwind of lots of things in her life and her career. So I'm excited to have her here. She's one of my dearest friends, and I hope you all enjoy her as much as I do. So, Leslye, hello, how are you?
How are you? Thank you for having me.
I'm good. I'm so excited to have you. I know that you're miles away right now. I can't wait till you come closer so I can see you again.
I'm just seeing your neighbor right down the street. I should only be away from you for 4 years, and then I'll be back.
Thank goodness. Okay, so let's get into some questions and see where it takes us. My first question is, what personal challenges as a woman have you faced that shaped your journey, and how did you overcome it?
Many challenges. I would say specifically the one that has defined me the most, being that now I have roughly 16 years in the military as an officer, would be trying to navigate life as a military spouse and raising two children. That has definitely framed my mindset in a lot of ways, and it has definitely added to the complexity that we try to struggle with all the time with that work-life balance. Earlier in my career, I was saying yes all the time to whatever came my way from whatever boss or commander, whatever they threw at me, how big or small the task was. And I reached a point in my career where I started taking a different career path, and that career path for the better presented more challenges. And that is the path that I took, is where I met my husband, and we started our family, and we were both in very demanding roles, and we had to determine how we were going to prioritize our careers and our families. Mm. And we had to really relook at what success looked like for both of us, and how to be fully effective in our uniform and out of uniform. And I would say that challenge is always ongoing, but I feel like because it has been ongoing now for roughly 11 years, it's not easier, because parenting is never easy. The career never gets easier, but it's habitual at this point. So we roll with the punches, you master communication, you learn how to navigate those challenges together, and you're not alone in those challenges. Once you have those moments together, those challenges become less and less scary, but they're always present, and we take them on together. That, I would say, has been my biggest challenge, especially as a woman in the military.
The military, I'm not part of the military, but a contractor for the military, is very time consuming. It's not always easy to get a schedule that allows for consistency, especially as a parent, to be there at this time for pickup, for drop off, for all the things. So figuring out that schedule in the 11 years is difficult and takes a lot of time sitting down and talking it through.
Yes, absolutely. So I would say my husband and I have mastered communication. If that is something that I can say with confidence, we have mastered communication. And there is a point too where you have to be able to confidently say to your boss or your commander, "Sir, ma'am, I will not be in on these days, because these are the days that I will be taking my son or my daughter to school. That is something that I would like to do and have the privilege to do." And you have to be hopeful that is received well. There are many toxic leaders out there that do not take that type of message. I have been very fortunate to have had great leaders that are fathers and mothers and spouses, and some of them haven't been parents, but are still great leaders that say, "Leslye, I understand your situation. Please go forth and do whatever you need to do. You know what you need to do, and I'll see you when I see you." And it's a simple thank you. I will still go work out in the morning. My husband put a gym in the garage, or I'll go run on the street. I'll make sure I do that part, and then I'll take my child to school, and then I'll be at work probably earlier than some people, and I'll still get everything done. And then my husband and I still communicate with each other based on the daily tasks that we have, who's going to pick them up. And there have been times where we can't. And then that's where building your tribe comes in, and your network, and those people that just save your butt and say, don't worry, we're going to that school, or we are in the same city. We will go get them. It's fine. Make sure you call the school and let them know that we're coming. And if it wasn't for that tribe or that network, there would be a few forgotten times that our child wasn't picked up. Having that network, having that tribe, having that communication has saved us a lot. And we're very grateful. We're very fortunate. My husband has had wonderful bosses as well. And I think if we keep having that good luck and that communication with each other and with our people, it's not just with your upper echelon of command, it's with your peers, it's with your subordinates, because if you leave to go pick up your children, you are setting the example for the people that work for you to also feel like they can go pick up their children. You are showing them that this is an environment that if I get my work done and I'm able to go get my children, whether my work is done or not, I'm able to go get my children. That's the environment that we're setting. And I think it's very important, because what is not done on a Tuesday by 5 probably can get done Wednesday at 9 o'clock. Your children and your family are what's important. And that's the environment that we try to set in our lives. And that's the environment that most of our commanders that we've worked for have set for us in our lives.
Yeah, I love that. The support system is just such a valid point that has been thrown out there time and time again on different episodes, that network, that tribe. But I also heard you say, which I think is super value add as well, is the confidence to stick up for yourself, the confidence to have the conversation. Us as women sometimes put ourselves in this small, timid version of ourselves and are too afraid to advocate for what we need or what we're looking for, in fear that we will be looked at differently because we're the mom. So talk to me about the confidence aspect for you and how you bring yourself about to be able to feel that confidence when talking to your commander.
There's been a few times. So personal situation, I found out about my first child when I was still in an assessment and selection process. I was at a fork in the road, if you will, for my career. I didn't know if I had no longer had a choice to go that direction. And then I had no idea if I could go back to my previous career. So for me, it was so many unknowns. Fortunately, I had an amazing commander at the time that said, have your son. We'll see you back at the next class that you are back in shape for, and get back in there. And then I'm back in the course, and there's a lack of time management by certain personnel. You're having to advocate for yourself to not have time wasted, because the management of time is not, it's just not up to par where it could be. But you're also not trying to look like you're the person ruffling feathers, but you just know you have somewhere to be because you know how long you have childcare for. You don't know how to navigate that, because I'm on student status. That was my first time having to navigate it. I said, you know what? I'm just going to sit down. I'm going to explain the situation. And I did. I explained it with the commander at the time. And he said, you know what? I understand. The syllabus is the syllabus. The schedule is the schedule. And if we're not adhering to the schedule, that's a written contract by us. And we're violating the contract. I was in shock. Oh, my goodness. I'm not trying to make anyone mad. That's the schedule that I knew, too. And I'm okay with a few minutes over, or even a half hour, even a 45 minutes over, about 2 or 3 hours. You're absolutely correct. From there on, I thought, wow, if this man that I have no relationship with is willing to hear me out, it only got better from there. However, I do have opposite stories from women that have come to me with stories where it did not work out well. All I could do was tell them to best navigate what they could navigate, control what they could, and adapt to what they couldn't. So their resiliency, they had to learn how to not waste energy on things that they couldn't control, but they had to still stay calm and not let toxic individuals get the best of them. That part was so hard because the perspective changes when you are a woman having to have two different things on your plate. You want to be a soldier. You want to do what's good for your career. You want to do everything that everyone else is doing. But then you have something else that is weighing on you as well. And it's not the routine that is hard to juggle. These kids end up getting sick. The daycare has a water main that breaks. The power grid goes out. Things happen. And that's where the flexibility, your mindset, being able to just wrap your head around the situation, be in the moment, not panic, lay out a plan, think about it. Is what is happening today really the end all be all to what is going to make tomorrow successful? If it is, can your child be there with you? But if today really doesn't need to be done to make tomorrow successful, maybe you need to be home with your child.
Yep.
That's the mentality that I started having, and that's kind of how I started focusing to get through those little life obstacles that kept getting thrown my way.
Yeah. So what I hear, the first one was the preparation of knowing, hey, here's what the schedule looks like. Let me have this conversation and just lead with curiosity. Ask the question, is this how it's supposed to be? Because I need to prepare for myself. So having that curiosity to ask. And then on the opposite side, for those who have tried to advocate for themselves and it hasn't gone so well, considering and thinking about conserving your energy versus releasing it to these emotions on things that you can't control, right? Because the realistic things that we can control are what we think, what we say, and what we do, and that's it. So how do we respond to this situation, and how do we adapt and adjust? And that's where, as you said, that network, that tribe, that is who can maybe come and help and adapt and adjust with that schedule and that routine. And then if it's a dire situation where you can't not be there, you either take the day off or you bring the child with you.
If I had all the answers right away, I would have had several books out already. You have to bring your situation to people to help people navigate it with you. I'll never forget when the water main broke at our daycare. One of my girlfriends said, "Where do you work? So I can come pick him up." Because I brought him instantly to work, and it was one of those days where he just could not be there. We were doing so many things, going back and forth to so many different buildings. He was like, "Well, where do you work? I'll come get him." And that was that.
That's awesome. I have two questions from that. My first question is building your tribe, your community. You just moved recently-ish, right? To an area that maybe you didn't know that many people. So how were you able to build that tribe at a decent rate?
So I think, again, it comes down to how much are you willing to put yourself out there, and how much are you willing to share with people your situation. I'll give you an example. I came down here, my husband was deployed, and I was fortunate enough to have my sister-in-law. She had both the kids when I was moving in the house. I'm by myself as the moving trucks are coming in. I'm receiving all the boxes, and the movers leave, boxes everywhere. I shut the door, and I'm just staring at the house. What is step one? And I hear a knock on the door. I'm like, okay, step one is approaching me. So I open the door, and it's my neighbors with a plate of barbecue chicken and a salad and a bottle of wine. They're like, we assumed you don't have food and or a way to cook food, so we brought you dinner.
Oh,
Okay. So they come in, they sit on something, I sit on something, one of them stands, and I'm just like, hey, what's up? And it turns out that one of them is the HOA president. So he knows everyone and everything. She's a socialite, and she's, oh, if you go here, if you talk to them, what's your situation? I was like, well, I right now have no idea where I am. My husband's deployed. My kids are 2.5 hours away from me. When I get them back, I have no idea what to do with them because I'm not sure still where I am. And that's my story. They're like, oh, well, here's where this babysitter lives. Like the whole roster of information was given to me. And then they asked me, are you okay if we put you on this neighborhood mom chat text? And I was like, well, sure. I mean, that's fine. I was added to it. Boy, does it get busy. But I will say the second I have a question, it is answered a few times. And the second that I had to go TDY and I had to leave before my husband was home, I had multiple offers on who would watch my children while I was gone. It was just an amazing thing to see. Everyone be like, we're here. So 2 doors down, Miss Sandra. She was lovely. She's one of the nicest people I've ever met. And her husband, Ben. It's just the two of them. They said, we'll do it. And my kids love them. And it was a quick 3 days. And it was just, I was so fortunate to have them. And they were lovely. They stepped up and said, we understand. They're not affiliated at all with the military. So they just love supporting people. And they took this opportunity to say, we appreciate what you do. And we're here to help in any way that we can. So I say it's not everyone, again, could have that neighborhood. But that just was the fortunate network that I fell into just by living next door to the HOA president and his socialite wife.
yeah.
He knew everybody and put me on this text message thread. So,
yeah. That is the greatest thing, having some of those neighbors who are willing to come and say hello and you get to know them. One of the other episodes, one of the girls I had a conversation with, we also talked about going to the pool and meeting people, and that being a great place to get to know a couple of different parents and moms and dads and such. And the kids' sporting events and the activities, that's where you really start to grow that relationship and knowledge of the people.
Well, it's funny because as I talk, one of my out counseling, so when you work for a commander, you get counseling at the beginning, and then you're supposed to get a counseling at the end, like everything you did well, everything that you can improve on. And I remember one particular out counseling, I was told I need to network more. Every time there was some meeting with a general, and anytime VIPs came by, I always just kind of said, I would set up everything, and then I would just leave. I was like, I'm good. I'm gonna find myself somewhere else. And he always noticed. And so now as I talk about this, I'm like, I do network. I just don't network in that way.
I think it's also maybe a safety thing, right? Work-wise versus social interaction-wise.
Generals aren't going to watch my children.
No doubt. Nobody here is going to help me. Maybe for my career. Maybe at some point I'll feed into that. But right now, Mom. Okay, I have one other before we move on to the next question. So you talked communication between you and your husband, which I couldn't agree more. My husband and I have been married now, holy cow, almost 15 years. And in that, we always say that it gets better every year, but in reality, it's still a challenge every year. That communication is a serious, important aspect of marriage. So talk me through either how you've gotten to the point where you feel like you can communicate fairly well, and or any suggestions you have on effective communication.
Well, I can start off with a little bit of humor. My husband has a tick. I always know when he's going to break a deployment to me.
Ah.
Not always. I still think he can sneak one in there here and there, but I feel like I'm on to him now. There's been some subtle ways that there's bad news coming. Mm-hmm. There's always some nice gestures and let's pave the road. Let's make sure she's in a really good mood before we just lay it on thick. But no, so good communication. I will say we have made it a point in the past, and I will say not so much here now that we're in our broadening assignment, right? So everything's been up in the air since we got here. We've been here in Florida for about 2 years, but he wasn't here when we first got here. I had a rotation away. He's had a rotation away. He actually just got back in town tonight. So I say all that to say when we had a more steady state living environment where we deployed and came back to the same state a lot, we would sync our calendars. Every week we would go over what does the week look like. And that helped out a lot with the drop off and the pickup, sports. We made sure we knew what was our parental obligation and what was our career obligation for that week. That was important. And you have to do the short term versus the long term, because if we come at each other with in January, what we're doing in June, that's not going to register with me. If you want to talk to me about what's going on in June, bring that up to me in May, please. But in January, you can talk to me about what's going on in January. And so each month, and usually every Sunday, we just talk about the week so we know exactly which days we are responsible for what. And that way we can bring that to work and give everyone at work that expectation. And the second something changes at work, one, do not say yes right away. It is, let me check with my spouse, let me check with my husband, let me check with my wife. So that way we are not saying yes right away and then putting one of us in a bind. That is key, because the second we do that, our entire plan goes out the window. And sometimes it works, but the second you automatically comply at work without checking back with our plan for the week, that can throw everything out of cycle. So the number one thing I think is making sure you stick to the plan for the week. And if there is going to be some sort of diversion, bring it up first, and then you can commit. That's kind of how we've communicated. When he's gone for a period of time, we make sure he does so many things, like he'll make food prior to going, and he makes sure that he helps out as much as he can. And I do the same thing. I'll lay out outfits, just things that we are both super capable of doing, but we have communicated so much to each other about so many things that I don't want to leave any details behind. We own little responsibilities around the house for certain things for the kids. I'm in charge of clothes, and he does a lot of other things. Like, I couldn't tell you where anything is in the garage, but if I don't communicate with him on what I need, and it's something I need from the garage, I am completely screwed. Yes. Because I didn't give him the heads up that I need it out of the garage. I have no idea where anything is out there, but he can get it in 2 seconds. But it comes down to that communication. If I talk to him on Sunday that I need something on Thursday, he'll get it to me before Thursday. It might be Monday, might be Tuesday, it might be Wednesday, but he'll get it to me before Thursday. Yeah. So it comes down to just sitting down, going over. We share a calendar in our phones, so we make sure we know exactly when hockey is, we know exactly when baseball is, so we don't double book. We are constantly talking. And then we take that calendar. I have to screenshot it so I can send it to myself and put it into my work calendar, because I need to know when to leave work. Yes. And then we talk to each other at work. Hey, when are you leaving? Because we want to either beat traffic or at least navigate traffic enough to get to the next sport. So it's constant communication. Have we mastered it? I think for the sake of our kids we don't have any, once you're a parent, do you get any hobbies? So all of our time hacks are for our kids.
And it doesn't change as they get older.
So, I mean, we're never late for anything we have to do.
Here's what I love. Here's a little tidbit that you gave me that I didn't even think to do. First off, I tried to fight calendars with my husband for like years. And then my oldest got real busy and I was like, okay, fine, you win. Like calendars, let's do this.
What are you trying to do? Memorize it?
I don't know. Fly by the seat of my pants. We got this. We're good. Okay. No, it was nuts. And because my husband worked baseball for so long, it was just me as primary parent. So I didn't need to share that responsibility with anybody. So it was like, I got it. Like, just do the things. We're good. But with him coming in, it was more like, okay, now I have help. Cool. What's that look like? Calendar wise, I literally would type it in the phone so that we'd share a calendar. Then I'd write it down on a piece of paper, type it out. Then I'd write it on my whiteboard. So the screenshot, I can screenshot it and print a picture of it. You just changed my life.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Why did I not think of this?
We're like the last ones. And there's like people out there that are like, no, girl, I have a calendar that projects on my wall and I can change it anytime I want. There's something cool out there. And we're like, we have phone calendars. Yeah.
What has been one practice or mindset that helped you build resilience and keep pushing forward, especially in the face of adversity?
Ooh, that's a good one. I would say there's a lot. I mean, you're talking mental and physical.
And resilience. And I mean, you could even talk about your pregnancy going through the course. So what was the course even like for you? Was that a resilience factor situation?
Yeah, I mean, so the best part about that, so resiliency in that aspect, the mental part that was a good one because you don't know anything about your body, what's going to happen afterwards, especially. And my commander at the time, I think my son was due in November and the next course started in January. And he said, we'll see you in January. And I was like, well, not sure if that makes sense because in the course you have to do 12-mile rucks and 5-mile runs. Am I going to be ready for that? So I was just sitting there, yeah, we'll see me in January. And so mentally I was like, oh my dear Lord. So I did end up going to the January course. Somebody must have talked to him and was like, sir, she's going to be probably on leave still. So we're probably going to just need to start her in the March class. And he was like, okay. I was like, thank God someone told me. But in my mind, I was like, all right, let's get the kids safely out of me. And then we're going to start working out. So resiliency was just making sure that I knew that I was given this chance to still pursue this opportunity. I was being told that I was still going to belong in this program. And that was something that I had accepted. The issue that I had as far as the mental part is being a woman, there's always this like extra weight that we carry. We always feel that we're never the quickest, we're never the strongest, we're never the biggest. And that's why we always compare ourselves. I don't know why we do that. I made it a point to just never be the slowest or the smallest or the weakest. I've always kind of just blended in. But I don't know why we carry that weight so much. We put these high expectations on ourselves. I feel like the scrutiny is usually coming from us.
Yes.
Like it's all we put that on ourselves.
Yes.
I bet no one else was looking at me like, oh, look at what she ran her 5 miles. No one was looking at that.
No.
Like I finished my 5 miles in way passing time. I bet no one remembers what my 5-mile time was. Only me, if I really think about it. So I think the resiliency part is getting over your own issues. It is making sure that you remain unshaken. How to just keep bending without breaking. Like over time, you just get a deeper and deeper confidence just knowing like what you are capable of doing and how you react under pressure. And I do think pressure is good for us. It kind of molds you and tests you and tries you. I would say as a woman, we tend to try to blend in, but I would say don't really try to blend in. Take up space with the confidence that you have and the character and do it. Be there, serve a purpose, but we're going to be the ones that get in our own way if you are not going to be resilient and overcome your own obstacles. And honestly, looking back at what I did, because I've never truly reflected on what I think I still haven't grasped, that I almost paused my entire career thinking I had to get out of the Army.
Yeah.
As a child, pursued what my original goal was and met every milestone that my peers who did not have a child at that same time, those milestones that they met, and still made every benchmark and promoted on time and at some point ahead of my peers. So I was like, I haven't truly reflected on that. And that, I think, is a testament to the mental resilience that came along with me and my leadership style, my presence, and kind of just not letting my own struggles get the best of me. I think women, we do it to ourselves, and I think we just need to stop being so hard on ourselves.
First off, I got goosebumps from your story and the fact that you haven't really had that chance to reflect on it and that you are kind of right now. I think what you said brings so much value to so many women of stop thinking in that fixed mindset. That fixed mindset is that comparison. And our brain will go back and forth from growth to fixed. For example, I tell myself I'm not a runner. I run from one end of the court to the next. I play basketball. Not a runner. But one of my friends, I helped her lose a significant amount of weight, and let's run a marathon together. And I was like, what? Ugh. But I said, okay, let's do this. That's fine. So I start running and I'm like, I hate this. This is terrible. This is the worst thing ever. Why am I doing this? This is gross. I hate it. My lungs hurt. My legs hurt. Da 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 da. Especially the first mile. That happens every time for me. So now I run 5-6 miles, give or take, on my own, and it's still the first mile. I hate it. The second mile, I'm like, I'm a runner. Yeah, look at me. I'm good. And I'm feeling great. And it's all this. It goes from fixed to growth, and we're thinking negative and positive and effective and destructive, right? Consistently. But it's that matter of comparison is one of the evilest, hardest things. We compare ourselves to everybody and anybody. I mean, that's where imposter syndrome comes from. So we really have to, as you said, take up space. Realize that you have strengths, that you have something that is unique, that is not like everyone else. And you are who you are because that is how you were made. Go out there and be you, and don't be apologetic for it.
Exactly. And the thing is, you said imposter syndrome. No one has it all figured out. Everyone that you see that has succeeded in life, by whatever definition that might be, no one had a plan that they, put out however many years before. They have just kept showing up. They have stayed grounded in their purpose. They keep holding the line with their values, and they just keep showing up. That's it.
Oh, I love that. That's exactly what it is. It's showing up. It's getting 1% better every single day. Do the thing.
1%. That's it.
What would you tell younger women or women currently facing similar struggles that you've overcome?
I've always thought, what if I could just jump into my body when I was a 23-year-old junior officer, knowing what I know now? I would say to the women that are coming after me, I want them to be their best friend, because you have to love yourself before you can love others. I want them to also be the leader that they wish they had or that they wish to have. So whether that is firm or fair or empathetic, everything that they want in someone, I hope that they remain those qualities and exude those qualities in themselves, because the experiences that they're going to face are going to shape them. They're not all going to be positive. A lot are going to be negative, and it's how you react to those experiences, whether good or bad, that are going to stay with you and define how you mold the rest of your path. That's what your personal path, your career path, your hobbies, your interests, your marriage, your relationships with your friends, how you react, whether it's negative or positive, that energy that you give out, whether it's reacting a certain way, you are the only person that is in control of those emotions. You can make as many mistakes as you want. You can learn from each one of them. Just don't make too many. Learn from them enough that you don't have to keep making them. I think you'll find that you're stronger than you think. And if you believe in yourself enough, you'll stop doubting yourself, and then you will see that you are exactly where you need to be. And don't let anyone else, don't let any piece of paper, any evaluation, anyone's opinion, don't let any senior commander, senior leader just means they joined before you. I say that to say some of them are toxic, but some of them are amazing.
Yes.
Don't let anyone cast judgment on you. You know who you are, and just stay grounded in your principles, have values, and stay true to those values. And I would say make sure that you have something you treasure outside of a career, because if you have something that you value more than a career, you will always find happiness.
Yes.
You don't want to surround and make yourself married to a career that will not always be there for you. Be there for those that will love you when the career is gone. That's the priority.
Staying true to yourself, knowing yourself, being confident in yourself, being your biggest cheerleader, because realistically, if we think about the science, we are our own worst critic. So you have to be the one taking the reins and being in charge of that and shifting that mindset and shifting that thought process. And the only way that happens is by thinking about your strengths daily, hunting the good stuff in the evening, right? Looking at things that, okay, what have I done well? What went well? And why am I good at these things? But also when you have those mentors that you do really look up to that are helping you, take that feedback, seek this is what they're saying is great about me, but also hear the thing that they're saying. If you change this, because that's what you said, right? Don't do the same lesson over and over. Take that little bit of information, try and change, fix, edit that part to just continue to grow and get better. That's how we all get better, is by learning from our mistakes and taking one more step. It's not a big step, it could be a small step, and sometimes we're taking like 7 steps backwards. That's okay. That is the process of growing and getting better. So be your biggest cheerleader is what I hear, and make sure that when you're getting that information, a senior leader, whatever, take from it. Don't be fixed mindset. Take the good from it. Let that help grow you.
Exactly.
Yes. And then the last thing you said that stuck to me, don't be married to your career. So many women, if I ask them a question, what are things that you like to do? What do you mean, what do I like to do? I work and I'm mom and I wife. Or if they're a single mom, I work and I mom. So what are other things that make you you?
Well, and I will say I'm very, very fortunate. My husband has made it a point. There are times where he and I, it's just us after the kids are down, and he will make it a point because he has his hobbies. He likes to golf and he likes to fish. Like those two things will make that man very, very, very happy. But in turn, he looks at me, and because he knows that getting on my bike and riding about 20 miles in the morning before any of the traffic gets nuts, biking and swimming are my thing. And so he knows that if that is something that I can do, he makes it a point to keep the hobbies alive. So if he gets his time and I get my time and we make sure that we keep our hobbies and we still have us, that's important to him. And he's very much about, hey, go, make sure you get a massage. Make sure that you get a facial. Go do what women go and do. And he makes it a point to ensure that we are still having our own identity in some way, shape, or form, and we are not consumed by the career obligations, and that we are not losing ourselves in this day-to-day routine that we find ourselves in.
That's so awesome. Another guest that I had on, she's a basketball coach, and that's her fun. That's her love. So it's not her full-time job.
Yeah.
It's going back to what do you love? Do that thing and enjoy
Exactly.
it and include it. I need to do that, do better.
Well, no, and that's the thing. And if you have found that you're missing it, then yes, pounce on it. And if you are finding other ways to fill that gap, and maybe it is socializing, maybe it's a book club, that, you know, things can evolve, things can change. It might not be the same as it once was. Sometimes my outlet is talking to people that are not in the military or associated with the military whatsoever. Sometimes I don't want anyone to talk at all, and that makes me happy. So, you know, it's a daily thing, but it can change. So I would say just go with what makes you happy, and if it changes from one day to the next, change from one day to the next.
That's okay. And if you're still learning yours, that's okay too.
You do. Hey, you live in a golf community, so
My my golf athletes would laugh at that. Okay, let's go to the next question. Any secrets, tips, or tricks that you have about health, wellness, management time, intentional time, investing, hair, any of the things?
tips and tricks. For me, in the military, we always have to wear our hair. I mean, not now, but I still wear my hair in a bun. That's just, call me a traditionalist. I make sure that I get a deep conditioner. I make sure that I get a keratin treatment. I make sure I take care of myself. I don't think that women should go without a deep cleansing and conditioning at all times. I think we should absolutely make sure that we are keeping our skin clean and protected. I've been seeing a dermatologist a lot more, and we are out in the sun so much, and we don't realize how much we are out in the sun, and we are just being exposed all the time. So I try to wear hat and shade as much as possible. Every product that I put on has an SPF, a sun protector of some sort. That is just like my thing now. I have been reading a lot about the intake of certain foods and what is bad for you. So I've been cutting back on all the dyes and seed oils, and we switched out all of our pans. So now we've got zero plastic in this house. We only cook with glass. We don't have any plastic cutting boards. Like, everything has been switched out. I drink only water now. I can't tell you the last time I've had a drink. I mean, I'm trying to keep all the poison out of my body. It is just, I've done a complete 180, and I'm telling you, if a young woman can hear this now, start now. Do it as much as you can, starting young. Protect your skin, get the poison out of your body, work out, meditate, get some quiet time, reset your clock, and start getting those close friends. You only need, so my mom told me you only need this many friends in life. I would say that there's like a spider web of friends. You got two that you always call and vent to and send voice text message to. And then you got another little web that you call and talk to about a different layer of things. And then you got another little web, you know what I mean? So you can have more than this, but like you got a little spider web. Those people in your life that are quality, not quantity, quality. Once you find the quality people, you can go days, weeks, and not talk to those people. And then the second you talk to them, it's like the days and the weeks didn't even go by exactly. You pick right back up where you left off. And I would say just keep that circle small and strong. And then honestly, train like you only have one body. Do your therapy, do your PT, and prioritize sleep. My husband would be laughing at me right now because he's always trying to get me to take magnesium and protein. And I don't know how to get enough protein in my body, but I'm trying. But he sets this, I'm going to learn how to unset it, but he sets this sleep alarm on my phone. And it's, you need to wind down. So prioritize your sleep. And I'm always like, I'm still packing for tomorrow. But prioritize sleep and make sure that you are just getting that downtime. Maybe take time throughout the day and just don't look at anything. Read without looking at screens. Like my mom has a Kindle now. She used to only read books. Look at just books, no screens. Just take downtime and call a friend that you haven't talked to in a really long time. That's my advice to some young up and comers.
One of my questions to you, because now I'm curious. Now I need to know. Why no plastics? Walk me through what you've read.
Oh, so yeah, now when you cut on a plastic cutting board, all the little microplastics that can chip off every single time that you cut onto it, it gets into your food. So the amount of plastic that you're consuming each time you're using a cutting board, and then when you heat something up in the plastic, all the toxins that, I don't know if toxins is the right word, but some people will probably be like, yes, keep talking, toxins. When you're heating it in the plastic, those toxins can seep into the food as well. So that's why they're recommending that you only heat it in glass. So seeping from the heat from the microwave and then chopping into it with the cutting board, like plastic is no longer a thing. I'll send you everything that we have bought because Mike has completely transformed our entire kitchen. When I came home from my last deployment, he got rid of my favorite pan, and I was just like, we didn't talk about this, but he made sure to get me like a replaced one in ceramic, but I was just like, and a stainless steel, but I was just kind of, ooh, he went crazy, but now I'm on board. So.
Yes, I love that you guys did that. I have heard a few things here and there, but not enough to spark me to be like, okay, Tamara, let's get on it. I want a healthy, strong body for life. So cutting out alcohol completely because it doesn't allow me to sleep and my joints hurt. I don't drink any juices or anything like that. I do mix my water with a lot of those different packets because I can't handle water consistently. And I have the Soda Stream thing to make my water taste
the bubbly. So I'm so plain Jane, so I can't say that I would be able to, like, I don't have that problem. I feel bad that you might have to, if you give up plastic, I'm sorry. You don't give up plastic, or maybe that's your one that you don't give up. You know, if you give up
a glass jar thingy to do it. Oh,
there's a substitute. Just go to Amazon and see. You know, you can look up anything these days.
And if nobody made it, I made trademark.
There you go. Hey, everybody.
I'm already doing it. Don't steal my idea. I also love the fact that stress is such a prevalent thing that happens, and not just happens, we allow it to cause so much chaos in our brain. And when we do that, that can age us significantly as well and cause sickness and all these things. So much of what you said consists of let's not stress. Let's not stress about the sun and what happens. My mom's had skin cancer twice. Let's not stress about the hair and how thin it gets and how thin it gets. Let's take care of the things. And also, let's take time away from a screen.
I mean,
pick up a book.
So my thing with the kids now, every time I am putting on like a sun shirt or hats and sunglasses, I tell them you get one body, you get one set of eyes, you get one skin. I tell them you only get one chance at this life. So let's go ahead and protect it as much as we can.
Yes. I try to tell my daughter that all the time with her sunscreen, and she's a soccer player, so she's out all the time.
That's who got it the worst. I mean, I'm guessing maybe basketball players, not so much because they got the indoor sport. Hockey players are pretty safe. You know, but all those outdoor sports.
And you're not wearing a hat in soccer, so.
Nope, we didn't really care about that stuff then either.
Yes, reapply.
Exactly. And the second you sweat, it's in your eyes, and then you're like, never mind, I'm done.
Okay, so we need a sunscreen that does not cost for my eyeballs. The burning eyes. Okay, Leslye, I have one more for you. What personal success have you had, and how did it lead you to where you are today?
I would say, so My personal success was definitely not all my own. My husband and I have navigated the complexities together of a dual military career. I'm going on 16 years and he's only behind me by a few months. As a family of four, I think altogether maybe 13 deployments and numerous TDYs, very different work hours, crisis response, moments of professional doubt, more late night phone calls when we were both in command, different times. We did all of our multiple milestone positions at the same time, so that was always fun. We always had moments of uncertainty, and we shared a lot of frustration with our career. We were always under pressure, and we're never sure where we stood as far as our performance. My husband is a very professional officer, and he never knew where he stood. When the lieutenant colonel list came out, and we both came out as merit-based promotions, we were both genuinely stunned. I wasn't so much stunned for him. I was not surprised for his name having merit-based next to it. Like, he's always been a superior officer. That one was a given. But it was like seeing that our names were both on it just felt surreal. Like, of a long-term sacrifice is met with such a clear and affirming result. And this was our first time seeing that. And so now I've had that privilege, and like, I owe it to having exceptional leaders and commanders from diverse backgrounds and experiences. And they all left their lasting impacts on myself and my husband and have guided us to this point in my career and his career. And I'm so thankful for every experience that I've had. And that success has culminated to this point where we are now lieutenant colonels, and we are going to celebrate it next month. But the actual recognition for the Army, anyways, happened 3 days ago.
Yeah, I'm so happy for you guys. It takes two for a couple who's only has one in the military, let alone two. And just the communication that you guys talked about, the ability to shift and work through and walk through life together, and then the support of one another. I'm sure he probably would say the exact same thing. Like, I was not surprised to see her name, right? Because you guys know each other so much and know that you both care and you're working hard. And like you said, it's 1% better every single day, just putting your foot forward and doing the thing. And it shows, because here you both are being able to be awarded at the same time.
So we get to promote at the same time, which has never been the case. It's always been like staggered. So now, same time, same timeline from here on out.
That's so super cool. I love that, y'all. All right, girl, what is any words of wisdom that you might have?
Be sure to communicate and wear sunblock. All I got.
I love it. That is the best. Those are the final words. Super important, coming from Lieutenant Colonel Leslye Fleming. Leslye, it's been a pleasure having you on. Thank you so much for joining me. And I cannot wait to see you again, because I miss you, friend.
I will definitely be calling you next time I'm up there.
All right, girl. I'll talk to you later.